There's Yerushalmi Berachos that pay Daled, according to the Art Scroll Harder edition, and in the Biln edition, it is Daf Samech Amud Beis, the last line. Chamisha Dvarim. And I'll pick up from actually in the Art Scroll. It is the fifth line down. Chamisha Dvarim. Chamisha Dvarim Nemru Gachel is Chamisha Rishalim. It's the five things stated by a coal, and five things stated by a flame. Gachel shel hekdesh molim ba. If you have a coal of hekdesh, then there's milah on the coal. It has substance. So it has substance. You can commit milah on anything which has substance. Shalabas lo nenim lo molim. Shalabas you don't have to have a davar because it's hekdesh, but it's no meila because there's no substance to it. So it's there is no chiyuv. Meila is a form of geneva, so therefore it has to be something which has some sort of substance to it to be something to be stolen. And gachel shel avodah zarah asura. Similarly, gachel of avodah zarah is forbidden. It has substance. Used for avodah zarah. Shel mutar, the flame has no substance, so therefore it is permitted. Somebody forswears benefit from his friend. Also, begachalto is not allowed to have benefit from his coal, which has substance. A flame is mutter. Now, the flame which you're talking about is obviously a flame where it's not adhering to a candle, because if it's a candle, it becomes a gachelos. So it's a flame which is like if you have some grease fire or something like that, so then that's not considered to be a flame which has coal, and therefore it is considered to have no substance to it. Hamotzi is agels, which is the rabim. Chayev, somebody takes a coal out to public thoroughfare is liable. Hashem is potter. Take out a flame, you're potter. So again, is this a substance? No substance. But here's one flip side. He to make a bracha on the maor, and the maor is the you have it by shalabes, but not by gacheles. Gacheles might be very hot, but it's not a fire. Even if it's glowing, it's still perhaps not considered fire. Rabbi Chia, but Rabbi Rashi, this by Rishem Rab says no. If they are fiery coals, in other words, they are crackling and because they're red and they're reddish, then that's considered enough of a fire, and you make a bracha. Rabbi Yochanan, the Kertzion, B'Shem Rabbi Nachum, Bar Timoi said, Bilbad b'niktefes. It's only talking about where the flame is niktefes, and Bnei Moshe says, Deish megochem lochoshos niktefes mat lamala. There's a little bit of the flame comes up, a little bit of flame rises up from it. Shiuro imachlis akisa beinehem dolik. Well, it's not even, you don't even recognize it. It is red hot, but the shir says imachlis akisa beinehem dolik umela. If you put a stick to the flame, to the coal, it immediately will ignite. The Chareim says Peish Baruch Nisreches Minibekes. So there's no necessarily small flame jumping up like the Bnei Moshe says, but that it'll cling to a new piece of fuel introduced to it, to a stick or such like. What are these whispering coals? If you put a stick among them, it's going to become ignited on its own. Okay, it says more further. Tani goy shelikis Yisrael, of a Jew, a non-Jew lit from a Jew, Yisrael goy, or Yisrael who be lit for a Jew lit from a non-Jew, nicha. That's okay. You could be able to keep with this. So that's more. Wait a minute. Goy shelik Yisrael. If a guy lit from a Jew, then this candle you can still use for Abdullah. Not that feel goy mi goy. So then if a guy lit from another guy, it should also be mutter. Ashkechtani, goy mi goy ein mebarchim. Yeah, we find that the guy from another guy, you can't make a bracha. So what's the difference? You're saying the moment it comes to rishus of a guy, it's permitted. It's, even though it's rishus of a guy, so to speak, it's permitted. So what does it make where it came from? It came from a guy, it came from Yisrael. Okay, the Gemara does not give an answer for that. The one goes further. Derek Yerushalmi. Rabbi Vavashem and Yochanan, Vavashikul Goyim, you have a alley where it's all Goyim. And one Jew lives among them. And he saw a fire rising from there. You can make a bracha, and that fire, also because that Yisrael who's there, which means we can assume, it's a remote assumption, that it was a Jew's flame. And this is this is not like the Bavli, as Maraponim points out. Had look Braisa, the Gorisas and Mepirkin. Now the Bavli says, running outside the city, or Ra'or, you see light, Im Rob Ruba Nachrim, and most of the city is Goyim, Einu Mevarech, can't make a bracha, Rabbi Yisrael Mevarech. Rabbi Yisrael didn't make a bracha, Amad Hochinach Harov. So it seems to go for the majority. One obviously the Yerushalmi is learning if there's one Yisrael that's like Kokavu Kamechza Mechzadami. So even though the majority of non-Jews, the flame is 50-50 the Jews, and 50-50 the Jews, like which principle depends what parts God made as mutter, so too 50% of the flame is enough for it to be considered to be the flame of a Jew. It must be saying those lines, although that's showing hypothesis. Okay, says more further. By Aboshem Yochanan Mobish Shikulo. Yeah, well, that's what you just said. So it's possible to say another thing also, which is that it's lit for the purpose of the. Let's leave it as that. I think the way we explained it is sufficient. So yeah, it says more further. Lo ala b'samim shemalei Shabbos b'Tveria lo b'samim shemalei Shabbos b'tziporin. They don't make a bracha on the b'samim which you smell on Erev Shabbos in Tveria, no b'samim you smell on Motzei Shabbos b'tzipori, v'lo on there, v'lo b'samim shel or Erev Shabbos b'tzipori, nor on the candle on the b'samim of the evening of Erev Shabbos b'tzipori. Sheinim asuyim. Well, actually, it's now specifying. Or Shabbos is whatever. Shem asim el davar acher. Those are made for a different purpose. Evidently, those are times that they had parties of Avodah Zarah. So therefore, this is a time which is made for that we are choshish, that for Avodah Zarah. I'm going to go back a minute because I saw my Gemara to what we said before about Koko Vukamech Samech Tzadami, and that's why we're not here. So that my Chabrusa, when I learned this, I don't know which Chabrusa it was, but I was just saying the Gemara, a very cute alternative explanation. He says that the Machlekes here is the same Machlekes we have between the Ashkenazim Sfarim by Pasakum or by Bishulakum, because according to the Ashkenazim, going to Sfarim, even the entire thing has to be cooked by a Jew, no chachmas, in order to be Bishul Yisrael. But going to Ashkenazim, even if a Jew threw in one stick, one twig into the fire, then it's no longer considered Bishul Akum, and you're allowed to have it. So here too, the opinion which holds that you have to have Rov or Kol Yisrael, same thing, through Bukakulo, that holds like the Sfarim. And you have to, the real process of cooking has to be by Jews. The other Svara holds that even as one Yisrael many Koyim, that's like the Svara Pas Akum, that even if you have put it in a stick, it's still mutter because no longer, by Bishul Akum, you put it in one stick, it's enough. That's a very good explanation. Okay, so getting back to where we are. Not on the Ner of dead bodies. Rabbi Chizka, Rabbi Yaakov Bar Acha, B'Shem Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Chanina, Adadamar ben Nesum Mal Mitasu Shameis. This is where they put above the bed of the mace. In the Sunni leaf name Mitasu Shameis, but they put in front of the bed, in front of the obviously the coffin or the stretcher of the mace. So then that's okay. Mivarchin. So saying it's made for the people who are alive, who are coming to, deal with the mace. So therefore, it's not considered ner shel mason, ner shel chaim in the proximity of a mason. That's okay. And the way we tell, the difference is where it's positioned vis-a-vis the mace, on top of him or in front of him. So it says, well, I understand. Why you say, is this redundant? Below, he shall go him, he shall avodah zarah is the same thing. Go him and avodah zarah in this respect. But the avodah zarah shall be soil. Okay? Even though it's avodah zarah shall be soil, you might say, well, he doesn't really mean it. Right? Jews don't really believe in avodah zarah, even if they seem to, so maybe it's okay. No, it's not okay. You're going to make a bracha on the candle until you start benefiting from it. Shem said the light was good. Then right, so in order to be a Havdalah, you have to first see that the light is good. So you have to check out the light, and then have enough of it, and then you can make Havdalah on that basis. I remember that from the Bible. It's a beautiful drasha. Or just a minute. Yeah, just a minute, sorry. So this is both Rabbi Yochanan and Shimon Lakish learned. Vayavdel Elokim Havdalah Vadai. This when it says the Kosh Baruch Hu was separated, that certainly is through Havdalah. This is, I believe that he means is that this is a but certain to Havdalah, and therefore he say Ben Or L'Chayshach in Havdalah. Okay, it's one of the 3 to 7 things which he mentioned. Rabbi Simon Amar Ivdilo Lo. He separated the or for himself, which is it's not Pasuk Pshat in the pasuk, but means that the or which is created for Shishes Meshes was nignaz, was taken away from human beings, given to HaKadosh Baruch Hu to safeguard to the proper time. Well, actually, Simon holds it separated for him, but I will not be restored to this world necessarily. No, he celebrated for tzaddikim for the world to come. So he gave an analogy. King had 2 strategists. This one said, I'm going to serve to this day. Both said I wanted to serve during the day. Karl Rishon, so he called the first one, Bamala Ploni, Hayom Yetchumach. You're tired getting a day. The other one he called Karl Shem Amar Lecha Bamala Ploni, Halayli Yetchumach. Night is your time. Although the Ksiv is that which it says by calling him or Yom, Begomer Le'or Amar Lo Hayom Yetchumach. To light he said, day is your domain. Chosher Amar Lo Halayli Yetchumach. He said that to darkness, the night will be your domain. So what's interesting is that I have here in the Sar Gemara, there seems to be, what about Ben Hashmashos? So there seems to be a raya for the mitzvah, the Rosh Hashanah says that Ben Hashmashos is a separate bria. There's Yom, Laila, and Ben Hashmashos. Here too, the Yom is definitely light, Laila is definitely darkness, Ben Hashmashos is its own chefza, its own entity. And again, my Chabrusa was said, the Ramban on Vayomesh Choshech says that according to Mekubalim, it says this Vayomesh is a language of Mamoshes, and so that is the Mekubalim's opinion. And Ramban says no, Choshech is not a Mamoshes; it's only a absence of light. And the Yerushalmi is like the Mekubalim. That's not the absence of light, which is darkness, but rather darkness is its own entity which comes in not necessarily the moment of Shkia. Perhaps comes later on. Amar B'Yochel Shamar Kosh Baruch Liot, as Hashem said to Yov, Hamimeyamechot Sivisa Boker. Did you ever during your days the command morning? Yadata Shachar Mekamo. You knew the morning where its place is. Do you know where the light of Shish Mebrachos is put into Gnisa? You don't. So what do you know? I'm going to bring out a bus with this. Yotzer Bori Choshech, which says here, the Kosh Baruch Hu formed the light, and he created darkness. So we know the Yotzer is always Yesh Me'yesh, and Choshech is always Yesh Me'ayin. I mean Bore is Yesh Me'ayin. So it seems like the real Brio is Choshech. There's a Chefta of Choshech which is created. I believe that the Zohar is Lashon through a Brutina de Kardanisa, a light of darkness, a lamp of darkness. So the idea is that darkness is a special bria, whereas light, it's a yitzira. And I think the way the Kohen explains is that although the light of Kosh Baruch Hu is a metaphor, and the light of this world is substantial, that's kaviyachol. The light of this world is an extension of the light of Kosh Baruch Hu, and therefore the true bria is only choshech. So yotzer v'choshech. Ose Shalom, that's the next part. Mishiyatza Ose Shalom B'neihem. Because Baruch Hu comes out and makes peace among the night and darkness by giving each its own realm. We don't make the bracha on the candle until you have benefit from its light. Rav Amar Ye'osu with an aleph, Shmo Ye'osu with an ayin. Mine Ye'osu comes to the passage which the Shimon and Levi use against Chamor and Shechem. Ach bezos ne'osalachem. With this, we will consent or provide you with what you're seeking. Manama Yosu with an ayin ladas laus es yo'ef davar. So to know, to provide pleasure to those are weary. That's with an ayin. Yo'ef davar is with an ayin. Time here we know that case of Ma'arin is Arim. How do you do extend the city for the purpose of Eruv? So what is Ma'abrin? It says Ma'abrin, Rav Amar Ma'abrin with an aleph, Shmuel Amar Abrin with an ayin. Man Amar Ma'abrin with an aleph, Osim La'ever. We add for it a limb. In other words, we extend the city in that direction. Man Amar Ma'abrin with an ayin, Kisho Bar, it's like a woman who's pregnant who extends in that direction. Talmudim we learned over there Lifnei Edain Shogoyim with an aleph, which is the holidays of Goyim. Rav Amar Edain with an ayin. I'm sorry. Tamanim Edain Shogoyim Rav Amar Edain with an ayin. Shema Edain with an aleph. Man Amar Edain with an aleph. Kikarov Yom Edam. Here means a downfall, and the day of their downfall is coming quickly. Man Amar Edain with an ayin. Beidem Hema Bal Yiru. By Yidul Man Yevoshu. They will not see their adornments, and they're not, and they won't be embarrassed. The Chareim says Ye'us with an ayin means a language of ace, the time. Sha ace tzricha ora, that the time is one which requires light. There's another Chareim you want to see. Ma Mekayim Chulei. Amai Lotani Dehem Kirav. Why does it not say Edeim with an ayin like Rav? With this. Yeah, okay, so that's the next time. We didn't do it. Mamakayim, Shmuel time of the Rabbi Edeim. It seems to be a good, it seems to be more perhaps precise. Hey Moshe Asim Lavush is Ovdeim B'Yom Hadin. They are going to embarrass this adornment which they have is going to embarrass the people who have them, the Yom Hadin, because they don't deserve it. Okay, there's another pshat here. The Charedim gives another pshat. He says, "Amalotani Edeim Kirab, the Tveim Meforsh Tavi Avodah Zarah, more similar to Avodah Zarah. The Reish of the Kroy Yotze Pesel, Kulam." What does it mean when it says Chamudeim Bayo Ilu? In the Pasuk, do I have later more? This is adding on his own. See, adding from, he's adding it. This is not for the rest of the Zara. Al-Haki Kamar, Osam Silim Sheikh Avdu Hagoyim, Eitz Va'evan. Shem Tzu Imahem Yom Din Yul Eidus. The idols they have will be the testimony against them. Shabbadim, that they actually serve them. And they'll be embarrassed because they can't deny it. So they going to claim they don't have it, but in order they won't be embarrassed, but they will be embarrassed. Time of the Rav, which is the Rav said that we'll use a Edeim in order to teach us. Actually, I guess this is Charedim was trying to explain this line. Shmuel time of the Rav, these things that the person does wrong are going to embarrass the person who did wrong at the time of judgment. Enough of Anah that women can weave white light. Enough that he can see what's in his cup and what's his plate. Be able to tell which coin is which coin. Even if you're in a large room, which is 10 by 10 amos, you can still make the bracha if you see the light. And because Zira Mekarev Kamei Butsina, it says, but Zira would go very close to the candle. Tamuni said to Rabbi, why are you so machmir? We should get close to the candle. But Tani Rabbi Yeshua, Avilu Trakin SOS and Barchim, you're way at the end of the hall. That's enough. Presumably, it's enough because back then, when there wasn't any ambient lighting, even at the end of the hall, it might have been difficult to see, but whatever you saw by the light of that illumination. Halacha Zayin. Mishacha b'shach, somebody ate and forgot. V'lo berech didn't bench. Beishami avzolim koima v'orech. Go back to your place and bench. Beisil omrim yivarach m'kom m'shenizkar. Make the bracha in the place where you remember. V'amosay mevarech. How long do you have to bench after you finish eating? Akdei shisakal amav hamazon shemeya. As long as you haven't digested the food in your stomach, which we understand to be 72 minutes. Says Yosef ben Barshulam Amar Shmein Amorim Charamartam Beisham Charamartam Beisil. To Amorim, one said the reason illogical Beisham, one said illogical Beisil. Manamatam Beishamai Ilu Shokach Sham Kisa Barim Hagolios. Why do you have to go back and read the forgotten a purse full of precious stones and pearls? Shemela Yisa Choser Minota Kisa. Would you go back and take your wallet, your purse? So too here, go back in order to bench. Mandamar opinion that holds Tamein the Beis Hillel, what's the opinion of Beis Hillel? Elaine Pol Oseb Rosh Degel. If you have a worker who's working at the top of a palm tree, or down in the depths of a pit, Shema Trich Shazim Koma, to make him go back to this place and make the bracha, it's too a hassle. And Baruch Makom Shenizkar, make the bracha place to remember, of Hacham and Baruch Makom Shenizkar. So to a normal person has a right to make the bracha wherever he remembers as well. A Muslim Mavarech, and Bechir B'Shem Shmuel, Shisaka Muslim Me'ev, until the food gets digested in his stomach. As long as you are still thirsty on account of that meal. Until you get famished again. So I think the shiurim are relatively close, but they all give different shiurim of what's considered to be the shear of the shear which comes in a hefsek between your eating and your benching. And we are way on Pei Hey over now for this point, so we will stop here today before we do Halacha Ches.